Realty income gets a lot of love from investors and for some really great reasons. If you're an income investor and you're looking for money now, the company bills itself as the monthly dividend stock. And for basically 3 decades, the company has done exactly that. Since it went public and started paying a dividend, it's paid a dividend to its shareholders every single month. For a long time, it grew the dividend every month, and now it consistently grows the payout just about every single quarter, has grown it every single year since its IPO. It's a great winning stock to own, but I have a better dividend stock for investors looking for income now and for the future. And even if you're just looking for the best total returns, we're going to talk about that stock here on this video. I'm Jason Hall. This is Investing Unscripted. This video is sponsored by The Motley Fool. If you're looking for even more great stock ideas than the stock I'm going to make the case for today, go to our special link. It's fool.com/unscripted. Go to that special link and you can get access to The Motley Fool's 10 best stocks to buy right now. You should definitely take the time to check out that link. Again, fool.com/unscripted. If there's a reason to love Realty Income stock, it's this. We talked about it in the intro. 251% in dividend growth. You see all these tiny little blips here. This is along the way, the company raising that payout basically every single month. Like I said, more recently, it's not necessarily raising it every month. It's raising it pretty regularly, though. Every quarter, definitely getting a raise, but 250% in increases since the IPO. Combine that with how much it's grown its business, and you're looking at an incredible 5,520% in total returns since the company went public. How does that compare to the broader stock market over that same period of time? It's a lot better. The S&P 500 has generated 1,950% in total returns since Realty Income's IPO. 5,520% is a heck of a lot better than that. But like I said, I'm going to make the case for a stock that I think investors should be looking at right now. So how has Realty Income been able to be such a big winner for investors? And the short answer is growing the right way. The company has consistently acquired and expanding the real estate that it owns and expanding the relationships and the value that it provides to its clients. Its business model is focusing on standalone commercial properties like a standalone fast food restaurant or standalone experiential properties. Some of the warehouse stores, these standalone properties that are really important to their tenant. They're how the tenant makes a living, selling their goods and services out of it. And those tenants are big companies, big brands that are expanding, have a long track record of growing. And also, they're really good credit worthy customers. They're good tenants. You know, they're going to pay for their property. And that makes them really valuable for Realty Income. The company's done an incredible job of growing its base of tenants over time, acquiring the properties that those tenants own, and then helping those tenants manage their growth, helping them find the right real estate as they're expanding and opening new locations. Done such a wonderful job. Investors have enjoyed that massive 5,520% in total returns. But even with those great returns in the rearview mirror, and what I think are probably going to be pretty good returns going forward, after all, I am a Realty Income shareholder, and I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. The money that I've been spending more recently to invest in high yield REITs is going to another company. Let's talk about that company right now. For me, the better investment today to buy Rexford Industrial Realty, ticker REXR. So we know a little bit about what Realty Income is. What is Rexford? So as it says in the name, it's industrial real estate. So think about logistics, distribution centers, light manufacturing. We know with two things that have happened. We've seen the growth of e-commerce. We need more logistics locations that are closer to more end customers than we have right now. That's really important. We also, as we experienced so painfully through the pandemic, we've seen a lot of focus on bringing more light manufacturing and more logistics back into North America, away from markets like China, where so much assembly and manufacturing has happened historically. We go through these periods like the pandemic where we lost access to so many things. So we better refocus on reshoring, nearshoring, and onshoring back into North America. That plays really well for Rexford, both of those trends. Plus, Rexford lives and breathes industrial real estate in Southern California. Now, why does that matter? Because the key with real estate is you want to have irreplaceable real estate assets. Number one, if you're able to have that, that is an incredible starting point. The other thing is you want the big trends. We talked about the big trends behind Rexford. So the key and what makes Southern California so incredibly attractive, especially for industrial real estate, is the massive amounts of importing that happens that comes into the United States from Southeast Asia. Sure, there's a lot of transitions that are happening to try to bring more light manufacturing, get more of the logistics, more of the assembly into the US, but we're still going to be depending on a lot of other places around the world for natural resources, for some of the components that are being manufactured to come in. And they come in through Southern California, and that puts Rexford right in a perfect place to be a big winner. And Rexford's not just positioned to be a big winner, it's already been a big winner. This is a business that went public. It's been public for about a decade now. And in that decade, it's grown its dividend more than Realty Income has grown it in its entire life as a public company. 364% dividend growth since its IPO. Again, compare that to Realty Income. Over that same period, Realty Income's dividend is up about 45%. Again, that's nothing to sniff at. That's a pretty decent increase, but it just doesn't compare to what Rexford has been able to do. Now, if there is one area where Rexford just doesn't quite stack up against Realty Income, it's in dividend yield. Dividend yield is less than 4%. It's 3.2% compared to just about 5% for Realty Income. But the key, I think this is really important, I want to stress it, is now, if you're in a position that you're looking for 4% or 5% yield because you want that income now or you need that income now, maybe Realty Income does make sense. But I do think for investors that don't have to have a set certain amount of yield right now, having the ability to let the yield grow for you as the dividend grows over time, I think Rexford is probably the better investment. I'm going to do a total return comparison here and let you see, again, since the IPO, Rexford's actually been the better investment. It's delivered about 363% in total returns since it went public. That's well more than double Realty Income's total returns over that same period of time. Now, last thing, here's what I think is really appealing about both of these companies. Even with Realty Income stock price having skyrocketed recently, pushing that dividend yield down, I think it still trades for a pretty reasonable valuation. But I think Rexford between the two is the more appealing valuation, especially when you think about its growth potential. Yeah, both have a lot of growth potential, but Rexford's focus on that geographic area in Southern California, the high value of those real estate assets, and the history of the company turning those assets into great returns, growing the cash flows over time for shareholders. I think between the two right now, Rexford is the one that I'm buying first.